Albertans are going through a time of real adversity. We've been hit hard with the worst public health crisis in over a century, and we're doing everything within our power to limit the spread of the coronavirus and to save lives. At the same time, our economy is undergoing the largest contraction since the Great Depression, with hundreds of thousands of layoffs. And on top of it all, our biggest industry has been hammered by the lowest energy prices in decades, thanks in part to the OPEC-Russia price war. We are coping with these enormous challenges after 5 years of economic stagnation. So I know that all of these things put together can seem overwhelming. But please remember that we Albertans are a resilient people, and we have overcome trying times in our past to go on and build one of the freest, most prosperous, and generous places on earth. Together with the national government, we're supporting families and employers facing financial stress right now. And following the pandemic, we will launch a bold economic recovery plan. That plan will accelerate the diversification of Alberta's economy. It will also ensure a future for our largest industry, because when we get through the crisis and the global economy moves back to growth, it will be more obvious than ever that the world needs a reliable, democratic, major source of energy. But that'll only happen if our energy has access to global markets. In other words, it will only happen if we get pipelines built. We can't wait for the end of the pandemic and the global recession in order to act. There are steps that we must take now to build our future, steps that are focused on jobs, the economy, and on pipelines. Today, we are moving forward with a project that is essential to our future prosperity. I am pleased to announce that the Government of Alberta has finalized an agreement with Calgary-based TC Energy to invest in the completion of the Keystone XL Pipeline. Alberta is making a $1.5 billion equity investment in Keystone XL this year, followed by a $6 billion loan guarantee next year. Construction will begin in Alberta immediately at the Canada-US border, as well as in the United States. This agreement marks the culmination of 6 months of negotiations and rigorous work by government officials and industry experts to ensure that we minimized risk for Alberta taxpayers and maximize the benefits of this historic investment. It will kickstart immediate construction on the pipeline with the goal of increasing the delivery of oil sands crude to U.S. markets by at least 830,000 barrels a day by the summer of 2023. This investment will immediately create nearly 7,000 jobs in Alberta this year and some 13,500 total jobs across Canada. It will also help our economy recover more quickly from the brutal impact of the COVID-19 pandemic and recession. It will strengthen North American energy independence and security against hostile foreign powers by ensuring continued long-term investment and development, as well as production from the Canadian oil sands. Those oil sands are the largest single proven energy reserve on Earth within a free market democracy, a democracy with the highest environmental, social, and governance standards. Alberta has endured 5 years of tough economic times, in part because of a lack of market access for our energy. We've allowed others to restrict our freedom to compete, to grow, and to prosper. This investment in Keystone XL is a bold move to retake control of our province's economic destiny and put it firmly in the hands of the owners of our natural resources, the people of Alberta. Now, let me be blunt. I've always been skeptical about government intervention in the market. But our failure to get pipelines built has been a failure of government policy and politics, not of markets. TC Energy has already invested $6 billion and spent a decade trying to get Keystone XL built. But the project was delayed for years because of a very political U.S. presidential veto and legal tactics by foreign-funded special interests trying to landlock Alberta energy. And now the chaos in global energy markets, created in part by Saudi Arabia's predatory dumping of oil, means that the market is not functioning, and there are no prospective private sector bidders of the Keystone XL project at this time. In other words, without this investment by Alberta, the pipeline would not be built. We also believe that this is our last chance to get a major pipeline project done, and without it, the future of our largest industry will be compromised. The Government of Alberta is confident that this is a wise and prudent investment. After construction is complete, we'll be able to sell our shares at profit. In addition, the project will have a net return of over $30 billion to the Alberta taxpayer through royalties and higher prices for Alberta oil for the next 20 years. Nearly half a century ago, then Premier Peter Lougheed kick-started large-scale oil sands development with an investment on behalf of the government and people of Alberta. That investment created hundreds of thousands of jobs and generated tens of billions of dollars in tax revenue for Albertans and all Canadians, revenue that paid for schools and hospitals that helped to develop our standard of life. Today's historic investment will kickstart the oil sands again, protecting hundreds of thousands of jobs in the future and generating billions in tax revenues so that generations of Albertans and Canadians can benefit. We are going through tough times, but with confidence in ourselves, we will get through this. This investment is a demonstration of that confidence in the future of Alberta. Thank you very much.